Okay, we talked about having science warm-ups, and we're hoping to have a couple a week. Haven't had one in a while, so let's go ahead and do this one. Again, in all warm-ups, you want to sort of pause that video, copy everything down, go try everything you can, and then come back and see how you did. Okay, and if you're totally stuck, you come back and get answers. That's okay. You're writing down the problems, you're writing down the answers, you're learning. Okay, so just so you can read my writing, I will read this before you go copy everything. This says, this morning the sunrise happened at 7:28 in the morning, 7:28 a.m. That's a.m.'s before noon, before lunch, right? Um, and tonight's sunset, the sun's going to go down in Windsor at 6:23 p.m. Okay, tomorrow the sun comes up at 7:29. That's a minute later. Right, it's going to be dark for another minute, but then the sun's going to set at 6:21. It's going to go 2 minutes sooner. Okay, so we're losing 3 minutes of light between today's amount of light we get and tomorrow. Why? See if you can explain that. Okay, uh, these are word parts. They help you in language arts. They help you in math. They specifically end up helping you in science. Okay, so if you're one of those kids who's lucky enough to speak two languages, you have an advantage because English borrows words from a lot of different languages, and Latin is one of the ones we borrow a lot of words from. Okay, we borrow root words, is what they call it, and they put it together to make bigger words for science. Okay, so these are parts of words: bi, tri, quad, des or deck, mill, meter. Meter can be a word by itself, right? Sphere, that can be a word by itself. Hemi, hypo, hyper, hydro, atmos, geo, therm, bio, sol, and luna. These can be words by themselves too, if you speak another language, right? So what do these words mean, or parts of these words mean? See if you can figure all those out. And then you're going to estimate lengths of these things. And again, we're talking metric, so no inches or feet or miles, right? We're talking about metric length. What are metric lengths? Well, it's based on a meter, and then you have parts or quantities of meters to get all the rest, right? Right? So you have millimeters, centimeters, decimeters, decameter, hectometer, and kilometer or kilometer. And remember the four we use the most are milli, deci, kilo, and then the actual unit, right? Meter. Okay, so estimate how big these things are, and then try all these, and then come back and see how you did. Okay? We'll see you in a bit. Okay, here we are. First question. We are losing daylight here in Windsor right now. Every day we're losing a few minutes, right? Why is that? Again, you have the sun always continuing to burn and sending heat to us. You go out and walk out into the sunlight and you feel the sun warming your body. It's kind of amazing. It's going 93 million miles away and you can feel that heat. Now, it is heating up the earth 93 million miles away. And if the earth were situated like this, right? Remember, it's always leaning, okay? And at that point, it is leaning away, right? The top half of the earth leaning away from the sun. More of the sun's rays are hitting the earth beneath this line that goes in the center of the earth. What's that called again? The equator, okay? Then are hitting on top, okay? Which means more of the heat is hitting the bottom part of the earth than on top. Now this looks like it's leading completely away from the sun, which would make that wet day here on earth. There's a name for it here in the northern hemisphere. It would be called the winter, if you knew this, solstice, right? The solstice, those are the extremes, either leaning completely away from the sun or completely towards the sun. Those are going to be solstice. The winter solstice, it's away. Summer solstice, it's towards the sun. Okay? The other two in betweens are the equinoxes, right? We've already had a vernal or autumnal equinox. That was the first day of fall, okay, last month, and we're heading towards the winter solstice. So what's going on here is as the Earth goes around the sun and it's leaning, sometimes it's leaning completely away from the sun, sometimes it's leaning completely towards the sun, and sometimes it's in between. Okay? Here's an example. There's the sun. The Earth is leaning that way in all four of these pictures. Okay? When it's over here, it's leaning completely away. That is the winter solstice. These two spots, it's not towards the sun or away from the sun. Those are the equinox. And here's my favorite day of the year, usually around June 21st, June 20th, depending on when the leap year was. And that is the summer solstice. Okay, so that's what's going on. Hopefully you're able to explain that. Okay, you don't want to say that our winter is when we're farther from the sun and the summer is when we're closer to the sun. That is the most popular wrong answer. That's where people go wrong. Okay, and very, very smart people go wrong. So that's why you guys are getting to learn this, so you can help smart people out too, and then they get impressed with you. All right, so back to the front page. What does bi mean? Well, bicycle has two wheels. Biannual means it's happening twice a year. Bi-monthly can either mean twice a month or every 2 months. It can be confusing. A tricycle has three. A triad is a group of three people together, working together. A quattro, right? Those of you who speak Spanish are lucky. Quad means four, right? Our decimal system. A decade is 10 years. Un mil in Espanol, those of you know, that's 1,000. And a millimeter is 1,000th of a meter. There's 1,000 millimeters. Remember, milli, right? That's the distance between your thumb and forefinger when you get them as close together as you can without touching, right? Milli. Say it with a small voice. And meter just means measure. A thermometer measures therms or heat. A speedometer measures speed. Remember, my son uses a glucometer to measure the glucose in his blood because he's diabetic. Sphere, that's a ball. Something that's a ball shaped, right? Three-dimensional circle kind of thing, right? And the Earth is a sphere. And half the Earth is a hemisphere. Okay? Hypo means under or lower. If you are hypothermic, that means your temperature, you got really cold for too long and your body temperature is dangerously low, right? Hyper means above. If you are hyperactive, that means you have more energy than normal, right? And hydro means H2O, which is water, okay? Atmos means vapor or steam. Our atmosphere is describing the water vapor in the air, but all the other gases. Oh, I said gas with 6th grade boys. I can hear you giggling. Gases. All right, so a vapor or gas, right? Water vapor, atmos. Geo, that means earth. Some people say it means rock, right? The geosphere is the rocky layer around the Earth. Geothermal is when you get heat from the Earth, right? We get that pretty close to here, Geyserville, right? Over in Middletown. There's a plant where they make electricity out of the heat of the Earth. Okay. Bio means life. El Sol is the sun. So solar energy is energy from the sun, and Luna is the moon. Okay, learning these words helps you figure out a lot of other words. You should write these in your science journal, right? All right, how big is a pencil? I don't know. Let's get have you picked these up yet? Pick up your packet. get your packet. You need this packet. Probably tomorrow we're going to be teaching you how to do these fun graffiti worksheets. Go get your packet. Tell mom or dad you need your packet. Otherwise, you're going to have to try to print one up. We'll try to put them online too and have them available to you. But we really wanted to make it easy for you. So we printed them and we put them all, copied them, put them all together. All right. Okay, so this is the inches side. We want to do centimeters. Remember, the centimeter is about the width of your pinky. Okay, my finger's a little bit fatter than that, but okay. About how many centimeters? This pencil's been sharpened, used a little bit. Almost 20. All right, so let's say about 20 centimeters. The door height, height of Mr. Daniel, 2 meters. Okay, a light pole. Well, look at a light pole. It's going to be about 10 meters, 10 to 15 meters. Okay, and again, use these, the squiggly equal sign. That means about. A car is about almost, depending on what kind of car, say about 1.5 meters tall. If you're talking about how long the car was, we're going to say it's about 4 meters long. How about an apple? Well, the apple about the size of your hand almost, right? Make a fist. I'm going to say it's about 10 centimeters, maybe, a big apple. I kind of like the smaller apples. 10 centimeters round, right? A home run. How far did the guy hit the ball if he hit a home run? He probably hit it pretty close to 100 meters, right? A math book. How big is a math book? Well, lucky me, I got one right here. Let's measure it. Math book. About 25 centimeters tall and about 19 centimeters wide. Okay, we're going to say 25 centimeters. And then we put this X, that means by 19. Now, why do we do that? Why does the X mean by? Well, because really, you want that rectangle, you're multiplying, right? They use that. Thickness of a dime. Wow. Thickness of the dime, that's pretty thin. Oh, I remember what that is. I'm looking at my finger and yeah, that's about 1 millimeter. All right, how thick it is. A dollar bill? Yeah, a little bit smaller than a pencil, huh? We said a pencil was 20. I'm going to say about 15 centimeters. Diameter of a penny, just across a penny? I'm going to say that's about 2 centimeters. And a driveway. How long is your driveway? I got a pretty short driveway. I can just barely fit my car on there. But that's about, I don't know. What do you say, about 10 meters? 10 meters? And the distance to Petaluma. Well, that's the biggest unit of measurement we're going to use. What's the biggest for metric we usually use? Kilo, 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 right? You say it. Kilo, say it with a big, deep voice. That's about 50 kilometers or kilometers. Both pronunciations can work. Okay. And last part, can you sing that metric song? Uh-oh. Be prepared for the earworm. Don't pause it before I sing it. Millicenti, deciliter, meter, gram, decahectokilo, the metric system I am. Millicenti, deciliter, meter, gram, decahectokilo, the metric system I am. All right. Hopefully that's stuck in your head now. It's good for you. All right. See you soon.